thank you all for coming. And I invited people from a lot of different places I've worked over the years, and appreciate you coming. And I think most of you are here because you all thought I was full of it and was never going to get this done. So I appreciate you being here. But just real quickly, I've written a lot of words over the years for a lot of people, and quite a few of you here tonight, and I appreciate that. And I wanted to tell you I still love doing that, but this was something that I've thought about a long time and worked on and off for 7-8 years. Yes, it's semi-autobiographical. I wouldn't say 70%, and it certainly isn't my mother, so that's good. She's one of the characters who definitely is fictional. And I'll get to a little bit about the story in a while, because I have kept it rather secret, I think, for most of you, so that's good. Where do you start? Look, it really has been an interesting journey. Chris has mentioned that there are similarities between the protagonist and myself. I accept that we're both from New England. I accept that we both work for rotten newspapers around different parts of the country. I accept that we're both one-eared and one-eyed. I don't think there's any other similarities, and you'll get to know this person named. He has about 3 different names, and that's part of his problem. He's got some identity crises that he has to work out. But his name that you'll come to know him as is Walt Johnson. And I think I'm better looking than Walt. And I think you'll probably find that he drinks a fair bit. And I think if Walt walked through the door now, I'd probably hand him a copy of Derryn's other book, I Beat the Blues and You Can Too. I think that's a very important thing. What's the book about, you all ask? It's about 132,000 words. It's a bit more than that, and really what it's about, it is semi-autobiographical. It is a lot of things that happened to me as a journalist, and also, so on the professional side, it's looking at how a journalist gets his stories, where they come from, and how silly and how many one-off creatures you run across in that career. And at the same time, I was always fascinated by family trees. And I've never met anyone yet who's got a really nice, solid, sound family tree. We all have ones that have grooves and knots and things. And Walt says that he suffers from a dyslexic gene pool. He's drowning in his dyslexic gene pool. He definitely is. And he's moving back home, which is in New England, to this small town that hasn't been alive since water power was running in the 19th century. And he's coming back because he's trying to come to terms with not only where he's been, but also this family. And on the one side, he has a mother who is related to the Mayflower, which is about as blue-blooded as you can get in American society, and she's also a part of the original Addams family. That's John and John Quincy, not Gomez and Morticia. And on the other side, he's married to this itinerant bunch of Armenian tribal herders, his grandfather of whom has, it seems, murdered someone in the old country. And Walt is trying to come to terms with that. But when he moves back to this town for the first time in 15 years, his private and his public lives are coming together. They're coming together at warp speed, and he's got to try and figure out something very quickly. And what he may find out is that the biggest scoop he almost never had is right under his nose. So that's about all I want to tell you about that. Lastly, is it a tearjerker? Yes, but I hope it's tears of joy and nothing else, because it is quite funny, I hope. Not meant to be too serious. And for Mama Usha, I've got one thing I've got to say to Usha over here. Usha's a train buddy. I met her on the train several months ago. There's some pretty rough dialogue, but it's Walt, it's not me. So, yeah, I had to say that. So, just lastly, I just want to say a few thanks, and then let's just have some celebration. I want to definitely thank Chris Jackson from Rent All Over, because without Chris we wouldn't be here, and he's taking a big chance, and let's hope it works, and I appreciate that. And his lovely wife Kylie, they put in so much time. He wasn't kidding about Hurricane Sandy. They've been working overtime to get this together, and I really do appreciate that. To Derryn Hinch for coming along, because my wife sent him an email and he said, yeah, don't ask, you don't get, and was kind enough to come along. And this is the unofficial launch of his latest book, Human Design. And there is a line in that. The quote from his surgeon on the back, which I think says it all. I didn't want to be remembered as the guy who killed Derryn Hinch. I'm going to a bookstore near you, so thank you, and please get a copy of that. And quite lastly, to my wife Karen for all her support. Couldn't do it without her. And yeah, it's been great. So thank you all. Let's have a drink. Enjoy.